drugs as these sort of external elements in the world that we ingest and that have all sorts of effects on us because we are made of drugs. The brain is a soup of drugs. So the idea that we're taking drugs and that has these effects on us is really interesting because we are in fact drugs. It's kind of like pouring water into a river. It's not pouring water onto a desert. We are swimming with drugs. We are flowing with drugs. We are add your own gerund here.
Bubbling with drugs. Stewing in drugs. We are drugs ourselves. The argument that Leary and McKenna and others would have made, I think, is that when you experience psychedelics, you're likely to see the world through values that are more authentic, right? Like what matters is love and beauty and community and kindness, not money and ambition and power and all these sort of false, these vices. That would lead you to redesign your life and potentially have society sort of reflect that redesign. Do you think is that a valid interpretation of this experience, or can psychedelics be co-opted by a corrupt culture to the point where they no longer impart that message?
That's a really complicated question, because it assumes that there is a message to begin with, which I'm not certain that there is. If the idea is that there is one type of a culture that is bad, and psychedelics communicate a message of goodness of one kind or another, whether it's ecological consciousness or some kind of, hippie values like being anti-war or being in favor of love or something like that. Of course, I, being somebody that really likes psychedelics, would like that to be the case. But, Stanislav Grof had this famous characterization of LSD, which is that it's a non-specific amplifier of human tendencies, or I think he was specifically maybe referring to the subconscious or something, but just the general idea that it is a non-specific amplifier of pre-existing tendencies of one kind or another. So maybe if you are somebody that, deeply cares about the environment, but you're so caught up in writing emails and whatever else, you don't really think about it, and then maybe you take a psychedelic and it amplifies something within you, but that was something that already existed within you. And you could see that also moving in a negative direction, right? There's absolutely no shortage of evidence that using psychedelics does not necessarily make you a good person. There are countless bad, greedy, violent, unpleasant people who have used enormous quantities of psychedelics. So they are not panaceas that will just, immediately transform you into a good person. But this question of the values of a society, I think in addition to this non-specific amplifier characterization, I think that they have another quality, which is a sort of arguably value-neutral removal from your current interpretation of the world that allows you to see something as if it is new.
Bubbling with drugs. Stewing in drugs. We are drugs ourselves. Bubbling with drugs. Stewing in drugs. We are drugs ourselves. Bubbling with drugs. Stewing in drugs. We are drugs ourselves. Bubbling with drugs. Stewing in drugs. We are drugs ourselves.
Oh.
Demons, be gone!
Be gone, demons.
Be gone!
Leave this studio!
Leave this planet.